Legendary singer-songwriter David Crosby quotes and sayings.
My songs emerge unbidden and unplanned and completely on a schedule of their own. We have, all of us over the years, written things that responded to the world as it slapped us in the face. Me and Nash singing To the Last Whale and Finding the Cost of Freedom. Stills coming up with For What It's Worth. These came right out of the news. People have accused us of taking stances, and the truth is we don't. My father being in the movie business, I thought being an actor would be great. But when I started singing to people in coffee houses, singing folk music and then later singing songs that I write myself, I felt more than an affinity for it. Jimi Hendrix could play better than our best guys, and he did it while he was dancing and while being completely outrageous. Sometimes the entire thing comes out in one burst. Sometimes you hack away at a thing for years before you get something that satisfies you. I want to go to Africa and find a really great hotel with good food right above the water hole where I can sit, have breakfast, and just watch the elephants play in the water. After all the time we people spent saying, look, war is a stupid way to solve stuff. Oh, you're not trying to solve stuff, you're trying to make money. I want to look at myself the way I do on purpose, because if you aggrandize and try to look at yourself the way a fan does, or the way a viewer does, or the way, God bless them, they all got a right to do, everybody's got a right to an opinion about it. Calling you a star is just a trick. It's like a straw man thing. They set you up to just knock you over. It's bull. You avoid it, I avoid it. I believe in this country, I love this country. I believe in the idea of this country, and this country is an idea. I love making music. I love making songs. I feel like I've been given a path where I can contribute, where I can protest if somebody does something really obviously wrong or inhuman right in front of me, where I can make a difference, where I can most especially elevate, make you happy, elevate the condition, elevate the thing. The stupid thing I incorrectly believed for a long time is that some politicians could sometimes tell the truth. Alec Guinness classed up that movie Star Wars. Nobody else in that movie knew how to act. Nobody else had a clue of what they were doing. The young guy was a complete loss, absolutely couldn't act his way out of a bag, but Alec Guinness carried that movie. He was such a class act that it elevated the film to be a joy to watch. The movie I've seen the most times, boy, that's a tough one. It would have to be a toss-up between Apocalypse Now and the first Star Wars. I think the first Star Wars. There's a site on the internet that swears up and down that I'm worth 46 million and that I'm one of the most highly paid and richest guys in show business. I really wish that was true. Then there are those where it's like my mother was raped by a Martian and that kind of thing. National Enquirer type stuff. They just make it up. There has never been a communism that worked. They were all dictatorships or oligarchies. Every single one. Neil Young played Helpless, and by the time he finished, we were asking him if we could join his band. I write very sporadically. I write sometimes 3 things in a week and then nothing for a year. I make a space for it, but I don't push it. They just come and they come. You tend to write as you get older about family love more than you write about romantic love or ooh baby. The stuff that you want to celebrate about humanity has always been there and probably always will be. Largely, I write from life. I write from what happens to me, mostly about love. People notice the other stuff more, but I write mostly about love. I have a pretty clear picture of the whole weight of my life, and there are things that I've done that are good and that I'm proud of. There are things that I'm not really proud of, and that you have to look at me with a perspective, and I try really hard to do that, to keep from thinking I'm cool and ever so smart. I don't think being angry is useful or healthy, and usually when I get angry, my brain just goes right out the window. Boom. As soon as the adrenaline hits, instant stupid. Just add water and mix. I'm not giving an inch to fear. I think ideas are still the most powerful things on the planet, and music is a great way to transmit them. Don't waste the time. Time is the final currency, man. Not money, not power, it's time. I've been given a gift, musical talent. Don't misuse it. I spent a lot of time just wasting that talent, not treasuring it, not valuing it, not respecting it, just taking it for granted. That was a hard lesson to learn. It doesn't come for free. Don't do that. Treasure it, respect it, treat it as a responsibility that you've been given, and enjoy the hell out of it. I would do a Byrds tour or a Byrds record in a minute. I miss that band now. I've tried to convince Roger over and over to do it, but he's not interested. Music isn't something you can legislate into being. I get egotistical about things where I can do something well. For example, my singing. Most other things, I don't have the wherewithal to back it up. His parents that raised him, who are two very sweet people, wrote us a letter, and also James met our keyboard player in Crosby, Stills Nash, who's a dear friend of mine, and that was the way that actually got him on the phone to me. I think this is just an outrage. I think people feel defeated. We got glimpses into their value systems and their reasons they do things that nobody else has gotten. It was pay dirt. It was seriously good stuff. VH1 and MTV turned suddenly from being a musical experience to a theatrical one. It became how you looked, which is what put Britney Spears, who's as deep as a bird bath, in front of Johnny Mitchell. It was probably the strangest thing that ever happened in the world. Their homes are gone. Their business is swamped. They wonder what the future holds. I love voyaging. The longest has been 3,000 miles to Hawaii. I've also spent weeks all over the Caribbean. Good music is an end in and of itself. When you're doing it, it's really the most fun part.